Hey there, this is Dave, and I thought that I would kind of introduce you to my garage because there's something I want to show you really quickly. But this is my very cluttered garage: snowblowers, lawnmowers, bicycles, all sorts of stuff. I've got 3 boys. They've each got like 2 bicycles. I've got 2 bicycles. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of clutter, but I consider myself very fortunate because on the other side of my garage, I have my dream car. It's hard to see, but it's a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda. So what we're gonna do with this series is I've decided that I'm finally gonna start working on her. I've owned her for 15 years and I've barely even touched her. And I think it's time. So I'm gonna start working on this car a lot this year. And my goal is to get her driving by next spring. But we're gonna start working on her, and my goal is in the spring, sometime around June, to actually drive her for the first time. So we gotta clean her off, we'll roll her out, we're gonna get the process started on figuring out what's wrong and what needs to be done, making a priority list. And I hope that you'll enjoy coming along this journey with me to getting this beautiful car, what is my dream car, drivable, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun in the process. So let's get the car rolled out. I'll introduce you to her, and you can see what kind of shape she's in and how much work I really do have in front of me. So to run you through her a little bit, she's red, although if you take a look in many of the other places, she's been a lot of different colors here. You can see that the metal and parts of the frame underneath here are plum crazy purple. You've got some orange on the inside of the door skins here, a lot of red, and more purple up here, black interior. I do believe the last time that she was driven was at about 1989, which isn't too bad, I suppose. Wheels are kind of rusty. Definitely need a lot of work there. A lot of dry rot on the tires, so obviously those aren't going to be driven on in any way, shape, or form. Some surface rust where the paint's gone. A couple spots that are maybe a little bit more severe than others, but not too bad. Floors need some help, of course. Gonna need some floor pans. Definitely have some rust holes here. That's where the little rubber things go, but it's pretty awful, and so is that. Got some other holes right up here too. Believe it or not, passenger side's worse. Definitely have some body metal work to do there. Then the most interesting thing is that when I got it, the lock cylinder you can see is halfway disassembled. And the reason for that, somebody had taken the wrong key, I think the key for the door, put it in upside down and snapped it off, which was not a nice thing to do. So in order to get this thing moving and rolling, I had to unbolt the steering column away from the frame there so that I could rotate it with the steering lock engaged. So that was an interesting thing. Seats are in rough shape, really rough shape, and so is the interior. Definitely needs some paint. Windshield's cracked, headliner's toast. I think we have ourselves a project car for real. Believe it or not, the trunk's actually pretty solid. Not too much rust there. Maybe one or two small pinholes. Looked like a patch that had been done previously that wasn't that great, but it worked. I might leave that one just the way it is. Back here by the rear seat, you can see some holes. See through there. I hate this wiring with this fabric insulation, so we're gonna have to get rid of that. Probably redo a bunch there. Afraid I probably have a lot of mysteries to solve as far as like what's what and where stuff goes. I don't know if this is factory or not. I'd be surprised if that was factory, but maybe it is, but I sincerely doubt it. Got some funky switches up here that I don't know what those are for. I actually took this part of the dash out already, so that's not missing. I have it. And the whole front part of the dash there, I've got all that. So it's not too bad, I suppose. The door's shut nicely, the hinges are good, the body is pretty rust-free on the frame. So yeah, it's a solid car, but it's definitely a lot of work. The front left fender is definitely the part of this poor girl that needs the most work. Probably just replace it with this dent in here and this stuff coming off here. Just looks like a lot of body filler was in this section here. Yeah, and then if you take a look at the bottom of it, go down here. Yeah, that's not too good. So I think just a new fender is probably the best thing to do, which won't be cheap, but that's okay. So far, before I started deciding to do videos on this, what I've done with the car is nice, shiny, brand new torsion bars there. 1 inch. Circle track racing specs, I guess, but I hear these things handle a lot better with stiffer torsion bars. And then if we go to the rear, I put on Mopar Performance heavy duty rear leaf springs on the back, and I like the stance of that. It's got aftermarket shocks in it that have air hose that goes to it that jacks the rear end up or down, which is nice. I can adjust the ride height of the rear end a lot, which is very cool. The exhaust is like, I don't know, it's like 1.5 inches. I'll definitely be replacing that. No rear valence, so when I have to get that. And the tank has seen better days. And to be honest with you, Lord only knows what's inside that thing. I haven't really taken a look. Bumpers are, chroming is pretty pitted and flaking off here. Got a couple interesting little pinholes in the rear tail light. Those look like they were drilled. Not sure, maybe they were getting moisture in the tail light or something. I've seen that trick done before. This all looks pretty good. Just some surface rust, but not too shabby. So if you take a look at the front grille, you'll notice I have this little stainless steel piece here, but I don't have the top and I don't have the corners on either side. At least I thought I didn't. But what was really cool is when I opened the trunk, I found there was actually 2 whole sets. So I had 4 of these U's for the sides, 2 at the top piece, and an extra at the bottom piece just sitting in the trunk, along with a bunch of AC parts and an extra steering column, an extra drive shaft. So the guy who owned this before me, he was gathering parts, and I got a lot of those with the car. So I'm very fortunate to have that. Love these turn signals. I think they're one of my favorite parts about this car, or at least the front end of this car. I just love the grille, and I love those turn signals. Let's open the hood here. So, honestly, not much to look at. I do believe this is the original 318 that came with the car. The nice little 2-barrel. Spark plug wires are an absolute disaster. So that's going to be one of my first jobs, is replacing that. Spark plugs. Honestly, there's oil in it, and the oil looks actually pretty good in the engine. I have a funny feeling they changed the oil just before it's decided to sit. So our first job, I think, is we're gonna get the ignition set up on the keys in the steering column. I've got a new distributor cap, Pertronics replacement for the points, the Pertronics points replacement, new plug wires, new spark plugs, got an oil change ready for her. Gonna pull that carburetor and clean it off, make sure there's no rust in the bowl, and see if we can get the engine started. Just, you know, by pouring gasoline and ether down the carburetor, or just see if it starts, and then let it smoke a lot and kind of get it going, and then we'll start deciding what we're gonna do. She lives amongst all this stuff, which is a lot. Live up in the Northeast, so gotta have a snowblower. I have chickens, gotta have chicken wire. I got kids, so I got a whole truck full of bicycles and stuff like that. And also, like I said, live in the Northeast, so snow tires. But the really cool thing that I have here is what's hiding underneath my workbench here, which is an absolute mess. Sorry. I know some people are probably watching this and they're just cringing. But let me move some things here and let's take a look at what's under the table here, because I think you'll probably like it. So this is kind of my scrap metal storage, because I've run out of space, and so I'm a little embarrassed about this. But if you take a look down under here, you see some heads and a block, and that is a high performance 1969 late year 383 with its heads and all the goodies. And then over here, it's kind of hard to see them, but I've got the pistons and everything like that, and amongst all these other stupid parts, I tell you. But what's awesome is I basically have a complete whole 1969 high performance 383 block. And so that's my plan, is actually to take the 318 out and to put the 383 in. I won't even need to change the K-frame, because the 383 fits in with the same K-frame as the 340s and the 318s, which is really nice. And so we're gonna hopefully take care of that as well. So now we're upstairs in my loft, and you can see here's where the door skins are. This is the rear seat. That's actually in really good condition. Back of the seat, the back bolster. Here's my spare steering column, and a really, really horribly beat up AC radiator. I forget what they're called now. I've got the center column here. More air conditioning parts up in that box up there. There's the trim parts in that box right up there. And here's some interior pieces that I took apart. I've got separated into bags that I basically just started before I, stopped working on this for a couple of years. So hopefully, we've got all the parts, we've got them separated, we got them bagged and everything like that, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. That's trim for siding. But yeah, I basically have everything and then some, so it shouldn't be too hard to get this old girl at least driving. She might not look pretty, but she'll go, and that's going to be, I think, the best part. And we'll worry about making her pretty a little later. Just because I'm doing this the best I can. I don't have the best facilities. I'm also a teacher, so I don't exactly have a ton of money. Oh yeah, but there we go. So that is that's my dream car. Thanks for watching. Hopefully some more videos will be coming up soon. We're gonna get started. I think the first thing we're gonna have to deal with is that ignition cylinder. If you want to follow along with me, hit the subscribe button. Please like the video and get the notifications. And as soon as I start doing more projects, I'll edit videos and put them back up on the on YouTube. And hopefully you will enjoy coming along this journey with me. Thanks for watching.